Hello and welcome to Music Videos Never Die, a podcast about music videos and how they're never going to die. My name is Doug Klinger. I'm a music video producer from Glendale, California. I have been working in the music video industry for 15 years, which I'm proud of, surprisingly. I started as a curator and professional watcher, and now I'm a professional maker. I currently run the short form department of a production company called Anti-Gravity Academy, and I run the music video sales agency called LAUV Inc. I love music videos. I think music videos are in a challenging place right now, and this podcast and this newsletter aim to talk about what makes music videos great, why in 2024 they're still a lovable art form, the challenges that this industry and this art form face. On this podcast, we'll interview filmmakers, other industry professionals, and we'll talk about hot music videos, hot topics, and hot conversations in the music video industry. Our first interview is with director Luke Orlando, who just directed Potential by LAUV. Luke talks about how he got into music videos, his moonlighting career as a treatment writer, and why he got so nervous when he met Clairo for the first time. Luke enjoyed himself so much on this podcast that he is now the co-host of the podcast. So Luke has now fulfilled his dream of being the first guest on a podcast and being music video's version of Andy Richter. There's a few news of the day, news of the week items that you should know about going into this interview with Luke. One is that The Guardian, the newspaper The Guardian, did an article about music videos. Their article claims that music videos are dying. This podcast is called Music Videos Never Die. So obviously we've got a fact check right there, right off the top. But we did a deep dive fact check in our newsletter, an article about why we think that the Guardian, it was too surface level and also just kind of pretty off base. In correlation is not causation going on in that article. But, you know, we're happy that the normies over at the Guardian are covering music videos in any way. We just wish they would do it more with a more nuance and more accuracy. But we try to correct some of that in our newsletter. We also discuss it a little bit in this interview with Luke. And we also talk a lot about AI in this interview with Luke. If you are hoping to hear us talk about the Paul Trillo directed Washed Out music video, we do not. This podcast was recorded before that music video was released. But that's okay, because we do talk about the Wes Walker Under Armour commercial, which was also used by generative AI, and it had almost the exact same reaction as the Paul Trillo video. So you can pretend we were talking about the Paul Trillo video, or you can wait a week or two when we ultimately get to it. But either way, I feel like you're sufficiently prepared now to listen to this Luke Orlando interview, the first interview on this podcast with the eventual co-host of this podcast. So please enjoy. When I first met you, you hadn't directed any music videos. And you were an observer of music videos. You were a fan of music videos like I was when I started in this space. I wonder if you could talk about, you know, how you got into directing music videos and how you became a part of the community around music videos.
Totally. I mean, I really, I studied a lot. I was on some, just consuming every video, reading every blog, listening to every podcast. I felt like I didn't go to film school, so I felt like I had to really make up for it by doing a lot of self-taught vibes. And so I did that. And yeah, when it came to how I actually got involved in the community, there's a fully direct path that stems from taking a summer course at USC. Dude, that one, the first guest that we had the first week was Hiro Murai, and this is in 2013 or 2014. It's Hiro's just absolutely been hitting home runs at one after another, so getting to talk to that guy about treatments was such an insane thing. And at the time I was 19. I was super fucking young, man.
I love the idea of being excited about a conversation about treatments.
I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, I'm a huge treatment nerd.
Anyone listening to this podcast is also excited about treatment conversations.
Yeah. I met a lot of folks and got a lot of opportunities to do stuff like DPing on some pretty cool projects that just, got me into situations where I could shoot really cool things for artists and get my foot into doing stuff with music videos. But really, what I guess really helped too was I made this iPhone short film with a friend, which booked me a bunch of work with Apple doing this kind of like music documentary, music video hybrid stuff with them. And that was like a crash course in like just working with pop stars and stuff like that. And I did about like 30 of those over the course of 3 years. And it was a real crazy vibe. We did like Meg the Stallion, Tate McRae, Giveon, just tons of people who are crushing it now. And during COVID, someone who I was working with on that project got me this job with Bands in Town, that like ticketing company that switched to live streaming.
Hell yeah, I love ticketing.
And then they were just like, they needed someone to do like directing for live streams.
I don't want to move too far away from the artist series that you did, because I want to know who of all of the artists that you shot for made you the most nervous.
Probably Clairo.
Really? I didn't even that I don't even know,
because like I was like doing the Clairo one was just like I've been listening to Clairo all summer. And so and also, dude, I had been having the craziest summer of my life.
What?
That
Wait a minute.
summer.
What summer was this?
This is summer 2019. And man, it was like peak this job. It was peak this. I was doing these documentaries for Apple, getting flown all around the world. I had done one in London, and then I hopped to Barcelona, and I was in Barcelona.
Listen to this guy.
And like my birthday was there, and my girlfriend at the time was there. It was crazy.
Why were you so nervous?
For Clairo?
Because you were listening, and you
because I was a fan. It was like
up
until then, all the artists we had been working with, I actually just like didn't know anything about before we shot them, and they're like they're legit artists.
Yeah,
I just wasn't tuned into, and so it was like I don't know, there wasn't this like fandom aspect, but with Clairo, it's like I had been bumping Clairo constantly that summer.
Right.
So I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy.
Such a specific scenario.
And I just I was really afraid of being corny.
I'm trying to picture the like commercial equivalent of that scenario where someone's like, yo, I love Advil. Like I love Advil. I love Advil so much. Like I got the set, the Advil marketing guy was there, and I was just like super nervous. I was like, dude, I got this really bad knee.
Yeah.
And your Advil helps me every time.
I mean, yeah, that's how we get duped, right? Is loving brands.
we love brands,
right?
We love brands. That's the second name of this podcast. It's Music Videos Will Never Die, : We Love Brands.
We love brands.
So I'm curious, because you're a DP, you were a DP.
Yeah, I worked as a
been
DP for a long time. Yeah,
you have credits as a DP. So you've worked alongside a lot of directors.
Yes.
In addition to being a director, what do you think are top 5 qualities of a music video director?
Maybe not in any particular order.
Doesn't have to be.
Adaptability.
We'll put them in
like
order.
Adaptability for sure. Clear communication. I think obviously like imagination, but like you can kind of chalk that down to just like, ability to shoot multiple setups or like keep something interesting within a setup. I don't know how to consolidate that to one quality, but like there's a sort of creativity that it requires. You have to be able to like, I guess maybe I would say the ability to commit to an idea, I think is necessary to be a good music video director. I think you have to be able to work with with musicians specifically. I think, seldom is there a situation where someone just gets a track, makes a video, they don't communicate with an artist, and it goes swimmingly. I'm sure that does happen, but more often than not, I think people book videos kind of based on vibes of like how they can vibe with an artist and make an artist feel on set, make an artist feel about the idea. It's not the same thing as just collaborating with another filmmaker or another type of artist. You know, musicians have a real strong connection to their music, and at the end of the day, they're the people who are slapping their name on the thing even more than you. So like, you have to make them feel really good about whatever they're slapping their name on.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Did I do enough, or
I don't know. I think
do I need one more?
I thought that was 3, but they were good, so we'll give you credit.
Okay, thank you.
Where on your most recent music video,
Yep.
you know what I mean? When did you feel like you were the most capital D director in like when is like when in the moment you were like walked away and you're like, man, I was so cool just now.
I mean, there's like different versions of that. You know,
Uh-huh.
there's versions
Talk me
of
through
that.
'em.
Yeah, so there's versions of that where like, you know, you do a shot and you nail a setup and it looks great and everyone's like, wow, this looks great. And you're just like, like we did the damn thing. Like, all right. And then there's moments where like you have to make kind of tougher decisions. Like there was a setup that kind of just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And it was really frustrating. And it wasn't just frustrating me. It was frustrating everybody.
Yeah.
And like not even just
I remember.
the artists or the performers or the crew, the client as well. Like everyone was having a bad time. And I mean, I think for me, I don't really do a lot of concepts that don't work. I don't know if that,
Right.
like,
And it was a real tone shift, vibe shift moment.
It was a real
like,
tone
things
shift.
were like, I thought I was going to get to leave soon.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we ran into this situation.
And
And it was like, oh, I'm staying till
I learned a lot of lessons about mirrors. The biggest
we don't
lesson.
have to tell people because some of the stuff still it makes it in because it you know.
Of course, no.
You,
of course,
I mean,
we don't want to.
This was a leading question for you to talk about this moment because I also do think you kind of really shined in this.
Well,
moment.
yeah, basically, I just made the call to cut it and like commit to a sort of different approach for it, and we did a big like 3, 2, 1 F mirrors, and like everyone was really stoked.
It
to
brought
hate
such
mirrors.
a sense of relief though that
Yeah.
you made the call. You know what I mean? And it is a tough call because it's like it was an idea. You know what I mean? In the treatment.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I feel like when you put something in a treatment, it's like kind of a contract, and you're really expected.
It's not kind of the contract.
It is a contract. It is a contract. I know. I'm just for those of you
It's
who
the
don't
real
know,
contract.
it is a you're
It's like
held
a
to it.
contract.
They hold you to it, and so not being able to meet it's like this like. But we did meet it. We were able to pull a lot of it off, and you know, had I known that painting out is like that is straightfortard.
It
Lean
wasn't.
in.
It was in this case. Don't
I'd
take
lean
that
in.
from
I'd
you
lean
know
in.
as your lesson.
Everybody, just paint it out.
What do you feel like the video succeeds at the most?
I think we did a thing where we used dance to communicate a progression of emotions, and I think we achieve it well. I think there's a clear relationship between bodies that's expressed in this choreography. Shout out Monica, our choreographer. And I think, you know, it's fun. We tell a story. It's kind of this like 3-act thing, and it's all told through dance, and it correlates to not only the lyrics but Ari's real life experience, and it's a very special thing. And yeah, I think that shines through. I think that is the video. That's when you watch it, there's this like, yeah, that's the story.
Is working with dance something that, you know, you feel like is firmly in your bag? Is that something that is like a touchstone of a Luke? Like
Weirdly,
something Luke?
yeah. Weirdly, yeah. It's not something I ever really thought about too much. Like I didn't do dance as a
How
kid or
well do
anything.
you feel like you are as a dancer?
I think I have fun on the dance floor. Like I'm not like a shy dancer, but I also don't know dance vibes. Like I don't know dance terminology. I don't know dance technique or proper. I've never taken a dance class, but I like working with choreographers because they kind of just get it. Like I think you can talk about dance the same way you talk about like any kind of work with an actor or a performer, you know, like I don't know the right term, but I'm like, we want this to feel really, you know, insert your word there, like energetic or subtle or subdued, you know, and you figure it out. And it's
another thing that is interesting about this video, and is like the artist has been very kind of like public about it, is he's essentially kind of dealing with his own sexuality through this song and through this video. I don't know about dealing with it, but the themes are present.
Being, he's being open. He's like just telling his story from a new perspective and sharing a new aspect of himself that he hasn't shared in his music and public persona yet.
Do you think there's elements in the video that help to tell that story, or
yes,
was that part of the conversation?
I think that was. Well, I mean, it's interesting because that was. Yeah, I feel like I didn't fully know that this was a video that was an initial sharing of.
So you learned this during the process.
I learned this during the process. Like the first time we spoke, we talked about casting with not Ari directly, but with like rather a team. And there was not clarity about if we wanted to cast.
Like who would be the lead?
Yeah, exactly. We were just in terms of the gender of the opposite love interest.
Right.
And
so once it became clear to you, like what the what was going to be communicated in this video.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was the first video where Ari was dancing with a boy. And
did you feel pressure?
I didn't feel pressure at all.
You were like, hell yeah.
That's my shit. Yeah, I want to I don't know why, but I really thrive in that space. And I really I feel like I often get to work with artists who are trying something for the first time. And that's kind of been the one constant through a lot of the videos I've worked on, where it's like to different degrees, either it's their first video, or sometimes they're trying a new identity. Sometimes they're learning to dance for the first time, whatever it is. I get to enter into their careers at these points of trying something new, and it's really fun for them and it's really fun for me. But yeah, with this one, I was like, dude, hell yeah. We get to make, this is such an important video in his life. It's beyond the album cycle or, whatever. We're trying to make some cool shit for socials. This is also just yo, what a cool way to, register this milestone in your life. So yeah, I felt like I'm so lucky to get to make a cool thing for this person.
Yeah, totally.
For this in this way. And yeah, when I found out, I think it's one of those things where on any kind of video, you're looking for a way to hype everybody up. I think I may be the fifth thing on what makes a good music video director is just being able to hype everybody up. Right. Sometimes you do that by having a crazy budget and getting big toys, but oftentimes you have to do it by having a sick idea and making it fun. And, I think that when you tell somebody like a cool choreographer that this is a video that's essentially sharing this fact about yourself for the first time, it adds this weight to the movement. It adds this energy to the flow of everything and to the glances that everybody shares with each other, And so, yeah, when those details are important. And when you get to share that with the crew, when you're already in the process of making stuff, it's hey, by the way, boom, this is an important thing. It's adding a NOS button to the whole thing. Yeah. It just locks shit in, and it's here we go, gonna care about it more. And that's really the main thing is, you want to build. Actually, you know what? I want to erase all 5 of the things I said and just say number 1 is trust. I think the most important thing in music, all directing probably, is just building trust with all of these people. And I think that, and trust comes through hype. Trust comes through giving people opportunities to flex. And when you give someone an opportunity to be hey, this is, a video that is just so important to this person, come up with a choreo that matches that importance. That's such a fun challenge to give someone, Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's a big part of it, is showing people hey, I trust you to collaborate and make something sick.
In addition to directing, in addition to being a director of photography,
yeah,
you may not embrace this as part of your identity, but a truth is that you are a treatment designer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For yourself,
Yeah.
obviously that is part of the process, treatment, but you do it for others as well. The music video level, at the film and television level, any other levels, commercial level.
Commercial, I mean, a lot are, it fluctuates, you know. I don't do as many music video treatments anymore. That was the thing. There was a short little blip there
where people had money to pay someone to write a music video treatment.
Exactly. But that didn't last too long.
How much of the curtain of music video treatment writing are you willing to let us see behind?
Like how? What am I down to reveal?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm a pretty open book. I haven't had too many negative experiences.
Are you willing to publicize your rates?
Sure.
What is a treatment writer? What is a treatment
I'm down
writer's
to
value?
let people know my rates because I think these should be standard. You know,
Okay.
I think if you're doing treatments for less than this, you're underselling your worth. And I think minimum day rate should be $500 a day. I think minimum.
Put it on the table.
Put it on the table, minimum.
You hear that?
You know, because the thing is, like, if you're really entrusting to one person the responsibility of communicating the vision for this thing that's going to be awarded a bunch of money, you should be willing to pay someone at least $500. You know?
Are you willing? I mean, do you bill for Zoom calls?
No. Every project is very different. The nature of a lot of the commercial treatments I do is that they're very quick turnover. And so a lot of my rate and things that I charge for come from the speed at which I have to do it. So I charge like rush fees and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
And like I have like a same day fee. And
hashtag
like
same day fee. Hashtag rush fee.
Same day fee. Hashtag same day fee. All that.
What's the process of being a treatment writer? Who do you work with typically?
So I'm a treatment designer typically. And I only make that distinction because I do think that like...
Because you don't write.
I mean, the thing is I can do copywriting, but I will charge double to do both.
Because it's harder.
Yes. I find it easier. Well, the thing is, like, they're just separate steps to me. And I think doing them at the same time is a detriment to the overall thing. I think you should write all your copy first and then do visual research that matches the, like, you know, you basically image pulling for whatever the copy is, and then design like an identity for that idea. So you just do
step 3 of 3?
I do steps 2 and 3.
Oh, so you do the image research.
I do the image research, and I put the copy and images together.
Where do you find your images?
Ooh, all over.
What are some? Come on, kids at home want to know.
I do them all. The thing is, you got to do them all. You got to.
What is them all?
So the place I usually start. Okay, here's a good one. It's called Flim.
Oh, that's not where I thought this was gonna go for the.
It's not where.
Is like Shot Deck a noob thing? Is like you know what I mean? Is that like
no?
Normie? Too normie at this point?
Not at all. Shot Deck only gets better and better. They recently incorporated music videos. That was a big step.
Good job.
They're pulling some wild shit from David Lynch. That's crazy. They just pulled all of the like 18 episodes of the season 3 David Lynch Twin Peaks. And I'm like,
is there another podcast where we debate whether or not David Lynch is normie? I'm kidding.
No, I don't think that's
not
a hot
for this
take.
podcast. Not this podcast.
I feel like that's a real like we live in East LA take. You know,
I live in Glendale. You know this is a different.
No, but what was I saying? I had a point.
You're talking about the tools that you use.
Was I?
Yeah, you said Shot Deck. You said Flimmy.
Flim is great. So Flim is just like a combo of all the things I like, which are Shot Deck, Pinterest, Tumblr, where it's just super. It's like AI keyword searching, where it kind of just creates its own keywords for images that are uploaded to it.
So AI reads video.
I think I don't want to speak on their behalf. I don't want to like make any claims or whatever, but like
Who gives a shit?
the way that I can just search for things on Flim, I find to be the most straightforward way.
What does Flim have? Movies?
It has movies, commercials, music videos. It's
Hell
like
yeah.
across the board.
Do they have any of my work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
then maybe it's worth a look.
Absolutely. You're definitely on it.
So Flim's
great.
Flim, Shot Deck.
Shot Deck's great. The newcomer in the game is Eye Candy, which is great.
Hot take.
I mean, it is a hot take, but
that's okay. The
thing is, it's no different than the other ones. IMO, like it tries to.
What are the other ones? I don't understand.
The other ones are Shot Deck and Flim.
Eye Candy's purpose as a treatment designer is, because I only know Eye Candy as an obnoxious Instagram account, but you're telling me that. The obnoxious Instagram account is marketing for a tool that is meant for treatment designers?
Yes.
Or like for treatment use?
I would say so, yes. I would say that is the use of their website. Yeah, the website functions very similarly to the other ones that we're talking about.
Got it.
Where you just search for keywords. They have GIFs of those, whether it's a camera move or some kind of thing.
Because I thought it was just like a platform that got just like
no, it's not a curatorial platform. It's mostly like they function as a resource for image pulling. And it's pretty well categorized, I would say. Like
it is that does not come across in their social media.
I think it might have earlier on in their social media, but I don't know. I caught on to them pretty quick, and like I remember like before. I feel like there has been some kind of, I don't know, not negative association with them, but like I think people either love
my
it
gut reaction to the social media is negative.
You don't like it. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I don't
like I didn't know what it was. You're exposing
media,
me. I'm not incapable of mind changing.
I think it's useful. I think it's useful.
I won't make you defend your position. I actually appreciate the enlightenment, and I think that it's good to know that that's what it is for. Yeah, I will unblock them on Instagram.
There you go. I mean, you don't even have to do that. Just go to their website when you're looking for some images.
Hell yeah. Okay, good idea.
You can skip Instagram if you don't want.
I would love to skip Instagram. I do think so. Here's the thing. I do think that the starting point disposition.
Yeah.
Just like tech companies in general are not here to protect us. Yeah. Right. And they're not, and they exist to extract money from, they see an opportunity to create, to earn money from an area that historically wasn't a revenue stream.
Yeah, they disrupt an industry and then bleed it out.
Yeah, right. That tends to be what happens in general with tech companies.
Yeah.
And so when they when any tech company enters into this space, that feels like it's got a kind of just stench of VC money. It is, I think, it's a challenge because back in the IMVDB days, in the OG music video podcast days, we made a strong argument at the time that YouTube saved music videos. And it definitely did at the time. And there was a gap between YouTube and MTV where you couldn't even watch HD video on the internet. Yeah. And music videos only lived on enhanced CDs that, certain artists would put out where you could put a CD into your, CD-ROM and you could maybe watch some music videos. Yeah. They didn't live anywhere. So but then that also kicked off a trend where we're beholden to, one of the issues with music videos right now is that there aren't many places for the community to exist. There used to be more. 10 years ago, it felt like there were a lot more platforms and that the internet functioned in a way where it was more supportive of the music video community and the filmmaking community that the music video community is a part of in a more direct way. Yeah. Where now it feels like we have a little piece of Instagram, a littler piece of YouTube, and that's that's what's out there for us in a meaningful way. And on Instagram, there was a thread of a director who had made an Under Armour commercial that used a bunch of generative AI in the commercial, and some of the directors whose work was used to generate the images could tell that their images had been used for this commercial. They were images that were made for another Under Armour commercial, but so legally, it didn't necessarily break any laws, but ethically, it really, like, a lot of directors had thoughts on this, and you commented on this post, and it got a lot of likes in the thread, and this was hundreds of comments on this post of like an unrelated production company that was just promoting the director of the AI spot, but didn't actually make it. But it became a big kind of like hot button thread. So what was your, if you feel like I'm first of all like summarizing, if I'm leaving anything out in the summary of the events. No, I don't think you're leaving
anything out. I think that's all accurate.
And then what was your comment?
My comment was basically that like it's you could call it an accelerationist perspective of like, hey, you know what? Let's just let AI take over advertising, like mercy kill commercials, and the idea that some of the best artists of our generation are competing over who gets to sell mega conglomerates. It was this very like, utopic vision, similarly to the other stuff I was talking about. And then, I followed it up with not like a walk back, but a couching statement of like, I obviously work for mega conglomerates. They've paid for my life. I worked for Apple for 3 years. I work for major labels. I, make pop videos. I make commercials. Like I participate in this thing that I'm saying, let's mercy kill. I rely on this thing that I'm saying, let's mercy kill. But the point of the message was like, I think we are more and more devalued as artists and as what we like bring to these various industries we're asked to be creative for. And, I do have a distinct belief that, if we did just, go to everything's 100% AI generated, we would notice the difference. And we would be like, oh, this, like the human touch is better. And I think it would end up balancing out. But I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not that. But the kind of like eat it, like letting AI eat it all. Yeah. Right. Like
letting that. Yeah, it's like capitalism eating itself.
You could see that happening. You could see a situation where I could see a situation where AI entirely takes over commercials.
Yeah.
Right. And then some dude or some woman or some person will still make a song and make a video for it and put it on the internet, separate of any sort of profit mechanisms, separate of any sort of like any of those other
will become iconic.
But you know what I mean, though, that's the purity I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Where it's like, music video can be created as a not profit thing, you know what I mean? That is purely culturally driven, where no commercial can be.
Yes, and I think there's a reality that with music videos, it's going to be a tough thing for AI to take over because artists just want to be in videos. Like they like performing. I think a big part of being the artist is making the video, and it's a very like, I don't know, it's an opportunity for them to connect with their fans, which is so hard to do nowadays, and like standing out in a way where that earnestness will come through a video, I think is going to be something that's hard for AI to fully inject itself into.
Yeah, totally. I think what we can come away with on this podcast is that there are elements of music videos that are AI proof. How about that? I don't know how many more billion view music videos are going to ever release. That was a subject of the article that, and one of the articles that we talked about at the top of the show is just that view counts are down. It's not where the emphasis is, but there was an era when billion view videos happened a lot. And so I'm curious, I thought it would be a fun exercise and a fun game for us to play to put a couple of billion view videos into a tier list. And so if you're not familiar with any of these, pause the podcast and watch them first. But Luke, I'm going to start with Gangnam Style by Psy on a tier list.
Gangnam Style is singular and had more impact than maybe any video ever. It started a revolution of K-pop in the West. I also think it started not a rebirth, but just a high point in this age of music videos where like people watch this video over and over and over, and it was such a phenomenon to watch it and have it on.
So you're thinking this is S tier.
S tier for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Gangnam Style S tier.
Sure.
I think it's basically it's the first billion view video ever.
There you go.
It's the quintessential. So S tier for Gangnam Style. Despacito.
Yeah, I knew it. Despacito.
Do you even off the top of your head, can you?
I do know the video.
Okay.
I don't know who directed the video. I don't know, what.
Carlos Perez.
Okay. I do know the video, though. It's a pretty classic, essentially, like Latin pop video, where there is.
I think we got to put this like right in the middle.
I think it's like a B tier. It's like a B tier.
B tier is.
But it's not a bad video. It's just like a standard.
I would agree.
It's the song is not more popular because of the video.
Sugar by Maroon 5, directed by David Dobkin. Do you remember this video?
I do.
David Dobkin, just for folks who haven't seen this video, in this video, it's directed by David Dobkin. David Dobkin, who directed Wedding Crashers. And in the video, Maroon 5 crash a bunch of weddings. But it's fake. That video, Sugar by Maroon 5, has 4 billion views. Shocking to think about now.
The thing is, like, I don't think about this video when I think about iconic videos.
100% not.
I never think about this
I have
video.
no shame in saying this video sucks.
I'm going to go C tier.
I'm going D tier.
Oh, do we have a D tier?
Yeah, you can go all the way to F.
Oh, damn. Are we doing some hating tonight, though?
I'm going I have one that I think may be an F tier upcoming. But this one I do think is D tier.
Okay.
I really think
I'm going to, sure, I'll agree with D tier because it's forgettable. All I remember is weddings. Really I don't really remember the video.
Incredibly whack video. Crazy Frog, Axel F, 4.5 billion views.
Crazy Frog, bro.
Do you even know this video?
A tier, dude. A tier.
I was gonna go F.
A tier for sure, dude. Crazy
Do
Frog.
You know the video?
Absolutely, I know the video.
Describe this video.
The 3D like animated whirlwind of like frenetic chaos. Yes, absolutely A tier. It spawned a generation of memes. It spawned a generation of internet culture that before just didn't exist. To
go back to that time.
Yeah, Crazy Frog is the definition of internet icon.
I was gonna put this at.
I feel like the entire genre of hyperpop derives itself from Crazy Frog and that video.
Okay, it's not something that I get, and it's not a level of culture that I paid close attention to. I will rank it where you say as a courtesy. Does See a Chandelier hold up?
I haven't seen it recently.
But do you remember it?
I do. I do think it. It was iconic.
I think it also spawned a genre.
It spawned a genre. Video, I feel like even my own participation in dance videos is at some point slightly like gonna be related to that. The fact that like that video unlocked performance heavy choreographies as like a fun thing in pop again.
Right.
And
do you think it like had too many things that were derivative where they did interpretive dance ineffectively?
in that video.
No, I think the stuff downstream of it.
Yes.
And that we have to penalize that video for how much like bad ripoffs came after it.
No, because that's like hating the Tree of Life, and then everybody who was signed to some such's career, and like